when it comes to a product that has to be purchased, there is something to stop. But, that doesn't stop too many people. But once it turned into something where information was given freely, without charge, without stipulation, without any, hidden attachments, as soon as that happened, this became the number one biggest growing field. And that tells me something. That tells me something about the general drive within people. Obviously we see a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of confusion within our culture with how to integrate a lot of this information. But just the fact that people are very, very hungry for the truth, that speaks volumes to me. And there's a lot of people that don't necessarily agree with my work, and there's a lot of people where I don't necessarily agree with their work. And the thing I love about it, what I'm actually seeing, is a lot more cooperation and accepting of other people's beliefs, at least within this field, within this genre. And I absolutely love that, because that really means that that's one of those core ethics of truly accepting the individuality of others and accepting that their path is their own. And if they truly feel that they need to do something in a certain way, and if they need to get their own opinion across in a certain way, who am I to say that they should do it in this way or that way? I'm just a person that has my own philosophies and beliefs. So I love the diversity. I love the dynamic that I see in this field. And yes, it is the number one biggest growing field right now. So that gives me a lot of hope.
Yeah. Tom, I got a question.
Okay,
what is the framework? I mean, is the Hangman Project, is that going to come out as a full length sort of a documentary, or is it sort of more of an information based thing, or a gathering place where you're going to gather a bunch of information and people can just go there?
Well, as of right now, it's more of a place where people gather. And that's not going to limit it to just that. Obviously, there are many things that are going to be done with it. There's going to be documentaries. There's going to be compilation albums. There's going to be art exhibits. There's going to be the different, which I could get into this maybe a little later, maybe in another interview at some point. But what I just spoke out in Puerto Rico about was setting up a form of an educational system that is completely opposing, and I shouldn't say opposing, balancing to what we have right now for children, but also for people of any age. And it's not there to compete. It's not there to attack, because I'm not trying to draw that energy of attacking the system the way it is. I would like to balance the system the way it is. And I think, that's generally what the Hanged Man Project is all about. But the reason why there is less direction right now in the Hanged Man Project than there probably are in a lot of other movements and projects is because I'm not in a hurry to really establish a direction of what I see the world, where I would like to see the world go, or where I would like to see humanity go. I'm not in a hurry to do that because I want to hear it from the people. I'm not just going to be one person that says, I think this is a great way to run society, let's get working, because actually, the biggest thing I would fear in that case is not that people would say no; it's that people would actually say yes. And that's not what I want. I don't want the world to look the way I want it to look right now. I want the world to be the best for everybody. And it's very possible that the way that I want it to look, even though I may have great intentions, is not best for everybody. It's not conducive to other people's paths, and I need to be open to that. So I don't want it to be Ben Stewart making a decision on how revolution can come about. I want it to come organically. I want it to come naturally. And the reason why I say that is because we don't force the body to become healthy. We allow the body to become healthy. And there's a huge difference, because medicine and things like that, that's forcing the body to, in some way, shape, or form, either flatline or to lower a certain symptom, but it's not allowing for the body to be able to regenerate and rejuvenate and keep itself healthy. And what we're doing to the planet right now is we're trying to force it to be healthy, and that's not going to work. And that's not going to work on a physical level. That's not going to work on an emotional level, a psychological level, a spiritual level, a conscious level. It's not going to work anywhere. In the long run, all it's going to do is it's going to delay the inevitable, and the inevitable is if this is the path we want to keep taking, the inevitable is the destruction of our entire planet, and this is a very real thing. This isn't just scare tactics, because
Right.
we see what's happening to the planet, whether we want to admit to it or not. We see the systematic destruction of large ecosystems. So this has to be taken very seriously, and this is why I take this work extremely seriously. And I'm not about to say that, okay, let's pick up our guns and let's go, start a revolution, or let's sign a bunch of petitions and get a bunch of politicians thrown out of office. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know what the world is supposed to look like in 10, 15, 20 years.
Although the politicians will do that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They'll be more than happy to stand up in front of you and, tell you an inconvenient truth or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the thing is we need to understand why we respond so well to the politicians doing that. It's not the fact that they're deceiving us. It's the fact that we're allowing ourselves to be deceived. We need to understand there's a huge difference, just like there was a huge difference between forcing the earth to become healthy and allowing the earth to become healthy. It's the same principle that really drives the reason why we want to be told what the future is going to look like, because we don't want the responsibility ourselves. We want a figure that we hold in higher regard to ourselves to give us a solution, because that is primal. That is what children do with their parents. Children don't want to go off and live on their own. They want their parents to give them structure. They want their parents to keep them healthy, to feed them, to protect them if there's danger. But they don't want to do it on their own, because whether it's an unconscious or an innate understanding, they can't take care of themselves right now. So I don't want to force anything upon people that can't take care of themselves. I mean, we
parents are the
absolutely
heroes.
Absolutely. And we absolutely have the ability to be sovereign, but we are not sovereign right now, and that is the difference. You cannot force people to take responsibility for themselves. You have to allow them to make that decision for themselves. So when I see all these projects, and there's a bunch, I'm not going to name any by name because I'm not putting any of them down, but I see a lot of projects, a lot of movements, a lot of people establishing organizations that are trying to fix the world, that are trying to force the world to do something in a certain way. And I understand that the intentions are good. They want to see the health of the planet. But the intentions of a 5-year-old child operating on a patient, performing brain surgery, maybe the child really wants to help that person, but if they're not able to, if they don't have the comprehension of the understanding of what they're doing, they're just going to cause more harm. And I'm not trying to draw a parallel between these groups and these organizations and the mentality of a 5-year-old child. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm trying to get across is the fact that who is to say that right now, I could say exactly what I want the world to look like in 5 years, but who's to say that is the actual correct path? So again, it all comes back to we need to make the decisions ourselves as individuals to become sovereign. Then once we're sovereign, it'll come like clockwork to us. Once we start listening to the heart.
There's no training. There's no training to be. Well, there's very little training to be sovereign. You're trained to be to toe the line. You're trained to be a cutout character by the military, by the education system, by religion, by society, by culture. I don't see very much sovereignty training other than, say, some of the stuff that you're doing and a few others.
Absolutely. All it is really, and if I could basically, in synthesis, say what the Hanged Man Project, what the intention of it, what I'm trying to build out of it, what the major intention is to provide the tools for individuals to deconstruct all of the conditioning that they've had throughout the years, to understand and comprehend and become conscious of themselves. Because I believe that if you are conscious of yourself, if you are just conscious and aware of who you are, what you are doing on this planet, and the ramifications of all of your actions, and I'm not just talking about physical actions, emotional, mental, because we know that those things change the physiology of the body and they change our environment. If people just become aware and conscious of everything that they do, I truly believe that they would understand how we as entire nations, as societies, as humanity are really destroying the planet, and we're destroying ourselves. We're destroying any hope for us to truly be able to revive ourselves or to learn a lesson from what we've done. We're destroying the planet so quickly that even if there were to be a large revolution of thought within the next 5 years, there's no telling whether we will, within 5 years of the abuse that the planet is taking right now, will be able to maintain it. Now, the Earth might be able to maintain it for another 500 years. Who knows? But really, I mean, there's statistics that show the population boom, the resources that are being destroyed and wiped out, the species of insects, the species of plants that are being destroyed en masse. And I'm not saying that any of this is unnatural or negative or anything like that, because then again, who am I really to say what direction we should take?